Hello there, you're watching the news at 8 on NDTV. A very happy Republic Day to all our viewers. I'm Maha Siddiqui. First, the headlines. India celebrates the 74th Republic Day with indigenous military equipment on display. Egyptian President Abdel Fattah El-Sisi as chief guest and an Egyptian contingent walking down the Kartavya Path as well. In Telangana, the governor versus government friction plays out at Republic Day. Governor Tamilisai Soundarajan unfurls the flag at Rajpath in an event skipped by Chief Minister K. Chandrasekhar Rao. But in Tamil Nadu, despite the recent acrimony, Chief Minister Stalin and R.N. Ravi seen together at the event. Amidst the row over the BBC docu-series on Modi, Kerala Congress makes a political statement, screens the documentary on Shanmugam Beach. Jadavpur University students also hold a screening. The world's first COVID-19 intranasal vaccine, Incovac, launched. Bharat Biotech's vaccine will be available to the government for 325 rupees per dose, while it will cost 800 rupees to private hospitals. Maharashtra Deputy Chief Minister Devendra Fadnavis indicates a rethink on the old pension scheme. This a month after asserting that the Sena BJP government in Maharashtra has no plans to restore it. Aam Aadmi Party takes the mayor elections issue to the Supreme Court. Petition by AAP mayor candidate Shelley Oberoi and leader Mukesh Goyal seek immediate polls for the top post and no voting right to nominated councillors. Infamous in the 90s for kidnappings and murders, West Champaran turns a new leaf. Migrant labour that was forced to head back home during lockdown find a new vocation in startup zones in Chanpatia. This is an NDTV special report. Pakistani currency down by almost 24 rupees at its lowest against the dollar at 255. This as government ends control over the rupee, which is a part of IMF conditions for a bailout. The 74th Republic Day parade in Delhi took place at the Kartavya Path, the revamped ceremonial boulevard from the British period known earlier as Rajpath. Egyptian President Abdel Fattah El-Sisi was the chief guest. The grand parade was a mix of the country's military strength and cultural diversity. Vishnu Shom reports.
Led by Colonel Mahmoud Mohammed.
144 soldiers of the Egyptian armed forces marching down Kartavya Path. Their President Abdel Fattah El-Sisi, the chief guest on this India's 74th Republic Day. It was a foggy morning today. Along Kartavya Path, though, the armed forces were at their best, marching to several martial tunes.
Contingent.
One of the highlights, the all-women contingent of the Central Reserve Police Force.
Led by Assistant Commandant Poonam Gupta.
Several other marching contingents, including those of the Navy, featured women. The naval contingent, led by a woman officer, featured 3 women and 6 Agniveers, soldiers in the first batch of the new armed forces recruitment scheme. Atmanirbharta was the motto for weapon systems on display. So no Russian tanks this time, just the Indian-made Arjun and other systems made in India, including the Akash missile system.
19 when it was employed as a countermeasure to Pakistan's Air Force.
23 tableaux, 17 from states and union territories and 6 from various government ministries depicted India's cultural heritage, our economic progress and national security. The motorcycle display, a display by the Corps of Signals, thrilled the audience with several formations, including a yoga display.
As difficult as it is to celebrate.
And finally, the air display, an air show of 45 aircraft, including vintage aircraft to the most modern jets in service in the IAF. The fog, however, meant that the aircraft were not as clearly visible as many would have liked. Vishnu Shom for NDTV.
Over the National Women.
Meanwhile, in the midst of the governor versus government friction, Telangana Chief Minister K. Chandrasekhar Rao skipped the Republic Day celebrations held at the Rajpath in Hyderabad, where Governor Tamilisai Soundarajan hoisted the national flag. Uma Sudhir explains why this happened.
Telangana and Tamil Nadu, two states where differences between the governor and elected government are playing out. In Hyderabad, Telangana Governor Tamilisai Soundarajan unfurled the national flag at Rajbhavan in the presence of the Chief Secretary and State Police Chief, but without the Chief Minister. Whereas in Tamil Nadu, Chief Minister M.K. Stalin was with Governor R.N. Ravi for the official Republic Day event. Even though only recently there was a face-off after the governor deviated from the government-approved speech in the assembly.
The marginalized people should have farms and houses. Few should not have farmhouses. That is not the development.
The Telangana High Court had on Wednesday ordered the state government to celebrate Republic Day, including the parade, according to guidelines issued by the centre in a manner befitting the occasion, permitting the participation of the public. The venue was left to the choice of the state government, who decided to stay with Rajbhavan like it happened last year, instead of parade grounds where it is usually otherwise held. So relations between the governor and the chief minister have been quite strained in the last couple of years or so, when the governor has in fact been saying that the state government has not been following protocol and has been ignoring her and in fact humiliating the office of the governor, whereas the state government and the BRS leaders are in fact saying that the governor is acting like an agent of the central government and of the BJP itself. With Sam Daniel in Chennai, in Hyderabad with camera person Nagraju, Uma Sudhir, NDTV.
Let's move on now. Union Health Minister Mansukh Mandavia and Science and Technology Minister Jitendra Singh launched the world's first COVID-19 intranasal vaccine, Incovac. Developed by India's Bharat Biotech, the vaccine will be available to the government for 325 rupees per dose, while it will cost 800 rupees to the private hospitals. The company in December, that is Bharat Biotech, had said last year that it had got approval for the primary 2-dose schedule and as a heterologous booster dose as well. Before that, the CDSCO had approved the restricted use of the intranasal vaccine in emergency situations in age group above 18 years.
वैसे ही एफर्ट के साथ हम आगे बढ़े। आप सबको मेरी शुभकामनाएं। आपका नेसल वैक्सीन हिंदुस्तान में नहीं केवल लेकिन विश्व में मैं मानता हूँ कि फर्स्ट वैक्सीन है। उसका उपयोग हिंदुस्तान में भी हो और दुनिया में भी हो। अल्टीमेटली हमारा लक्ष्य है देश और विश्व स्वस्थ रहे।
On some more political news now, signaling a change in the stance of the Maharashtra government, Deputy Chief Minister Devendra Fadnavis has said that the state government is not negative about the old pension scheme. This comes a month after he said that the Sena BJP government in Maharashtra had no plans to restore the old pension scheme. The Congress and other opposition parties have recently reverted to the old pension scheme phased out in early 2004 in states like Himachal Pradesh and Rajasthan. The BJP has been against it, citing huge financial burden on governments.
की आम्ही याच्याबद्दल कुठेही नकारात्मक नाही. आम्ही याच्यामध्ये सगळ्यांसोबत चर्चा करून फायनान्स सोबत चर्चा करून काय मार्ग निघेल, पण लॉंग टर्मचा मार्ग आपल्याला काढावा लागेल. शॉर्ट टर्मचा मार्ग काढून आपल्याला चालला हवा. हा लॉंग टर्मचा मार्ग जो आहे तो काढण्याकरता निश्चितपणे या संदर्भात फायनान्स विभागाशी सगळ्या विभागाशी आपण चर्चा करणार आहोत. आणि मी हे सांगतो की हे लोक बोलतात, पण जर या ठिकाणी पेन्शन योजनेत बदल करायचा असेल, जुनी द्यायची असेल, ही धमक आमच्यामध्येच आहे. हे नाही करू शकत. हे काय करायचं असेल ते आम्हीच करू शकतो.
Crisscrossing to Delhi now, where the Aam Aadmi Party's Delhi mayoral candidate Shelley Oberoi has gone to the Supreme Court to demand that elections to the civic body's top post be held in a time-bound manner. The party has also argued that a law be followed to not allow the 10 nominated councillors to vote. The move comes 2 days after the mayoral election was stalled for the second time this month amidst chaos at the sitting of the newly elected Municipal Corporation of Delhi. This is a political statement that the Kerala Congress has made over here, is it?
Absolutely, Maha. In fact, this comes at a time when all the political parties have largely been, at least those opposing BJP, have been looking at screening these BBC documentaries through the student wings. That's been the political modus operandi till now. At least we've seen that in universities, even with SFI for that matter, which is the left-backed unit of the CPIM. They have gone ahead and given calls to screen in Jamia. The screenings attempts made at JNU, where there was a power outage eventually. Also at University of Hyderabad, and you also had it at the Law College, where it was Congress as well seen making attempts to screen this particular documentary. But what has happened now is it is perhaps the first time that a political party has now taken this docu-series to the public at a public forum, which is, at the Shangmugam beach on a holiday on Republic Day. And this is definitely a political statement by the Congress. In Kerala, they are saying they're even planning several other screenings across districts, across the state. What is also interesting is earlier they had said that they will be having the screening in their office today, but they say that after they got the police clearance, they then moved the venue to the Shangmugam beach, which is very close to Thiruvananthapuram city itself in Kerala. Maha?
All right, Sneha, let's also go across to Saurabh Gupta, who's joining us from Jadavpur University. Saurabh, what was it like on the ground when this documentary, when the students were trying to screen this documentary, compared it to what we've seen in Delhi, in JNU and Jamia?
Well, quite different, and the pictures tell the story. So I'll, of course, show you how the documentary is being screened. Earlier, they had an issue, a technical issue with the screen. They had planned to show it on a screen, but the projector, I believe, developed a snag or whatever. But now, so they've set up 3 laptop computers, and the documentary is being screened on these laptop computers. And you can see, of course, students and others also watching the documentary publicly. Of course, this is on campus at Jadavpur University, one of the premier institutes of higher learning in Kolkata. Now, there are, of course, several questions, in terms of law enforcement, because there is a government order that has asked, of course, social media sites to take it down. But the law and order part is a little different, because here the Trinamool Congress is in power, and several Trinamool Congress MPs have also been asking people to watch the documentary, and a political rival, the left, the SFI, vehemently opposed to Trinamool, is actually going ahead and screening it. So you don't see the kind of law enforcement sweeping in, swooping down on the campus, putting an end to the screening. Nothing like that has happened yet, at least. It's just started about 5 minutes ago. But the documentary clearly happenings, the screening happening, students here also watching the documentary. That's, of course, what we can definitely say from the Jadavpur University. Very different from what we saw at Jamia Millia Islamia or the Jawaharlal Nehru University in Delhi, where there was a clampdown. At this point, though, the documentary screening at the Jadavpur University in progress.
All right, Saurabh Gupta and Sneha, both of you, many thanks for joining us with all those details. West Champaran in Bihar, once known for kidnapping, for ransom and bandits, is making news today for its startup zone in Chanpatia. In the aftermath of the COVID lockdown, when several migrant labour returned to their villages in Bihar, District Magistrate Kundan Kumar decided to help them earn a living. Many have set up units of their own in the startup zone and are also able to provide further employment. Manish Kumar with the special report from Chanpatia.
पहले पिछले 10 वर्षों से सूरत में रहते थे, तो जब कोरोना काल लग गया तो वहाँ सारा मार्केट बंद हो गया था और हम वहीं काम करते थे सूरत में अपने पति के साथ में। तो जब सब मार्केट बंद हो गया तो हम लोग घर अपने वापस लौटे। जब घर वापस लौटे तो जो मेरे पश्चिमी चंपारण के डीएम सर कुंदन कुमार सर है, उनसे क्वारंटाइन सेंटर में हमसे मुलाकात हुई।
Archana Kushwaha, till 2 years ago, was working as a daily wage worker in a textile unit. Today, she runs a sari manufacturing business of her own and employs over 20 women. She started this unit in Champaran startup zone 15 kilometers from district headquarters, Betia, with a 25 lakh loan from the government. Today, her turnover is over 2 crores.
पसंद नहीं आता तो फिर इतना साड़ी बनता थोड़े ही सर।
तो मतलब कितना प्रॉफिट कितना होता होगा?
प्रॉफिट अभी हम लोग मतलब कम ही रेंज लेके प्रॉफिट पर काम कर रहे हैं, 5-10 रुपया प्रॉफिट पर काम कर रहे हैं, क्योंकि देखिए अगर लोगों को सस्ता नहीं देंगे तो फिर लोग यहाँ से नहीं ले जाएगा लोग।
Like Archana, Gulshan also worked at a steel utensils making unit in Delhi. Now has his own setup. Or Jitendra, who used to work in a garment firm in Ludhiana, but now makes woolens here, and even fulfilled his dream to send to Kashmir this year. So far, there are 57 such units who are clocking a turnover of 25 crores in this startup zone.
यहाँ पे हम लोग बर्तन मैन्युफैक्चरिंग कर रहे हैं, ठीक है। पहले हम लोग दिल्ली में थे, दिल्ली में भी अपनी फैक्ट्री थी। अब यहाँ पे अपनी मैन्युफैक्चरिंग यहाँ पे बिहार में भी चालू करी है।
तो दिल्ली में और यहाँ में क्या अंतर है?
दिल्ली में यहाँ में कोई खास अंतर नहीं है, पर लेकिन मार्केट अच्छा है बिहार का बर्तन के मामले में।
ये से लो और मतलब मिनिमम का भी हम लोग बनाते हैं और अच्छे पीस भी जो होते हैं बढ़िया में।
तो खरीदार हैं? जी,
अपने खरीदार है। स्कूल ड्रेस का जैसे हम बनाते हैं, स्कूल ड्रेस तो इस बार हम लोग का बहुत चला, जैसे हाजीपुर, मुजफ्फरपुर, अपना बेतियाँ तो घाट पर, मुजफ्फरपुर, हाजीपुर। 2 सीजन मेरा पूरा हो गया।
कैसा रहा?
अच्छा रहा। एक मशीन और हम लोग ला रहे हैं, भैया से बात हुई थी, एक मशीन की बात चल रही है, देखिए अगले महीने।
क्या चाहते हैं और क्या करना चाहते हैं?
अभी तो इसी को आगे और बढ़ाना चाहते हैं।
And the man behind this successful initiative, West Champaran District Magistrate Kundan Kumar. He says this bulk production model is now being scaled up.
अब जो नेक्स्ट स्टेप है उसमें यह है कि लगभग 141 लोग ऐसे हैं जो सूरत, लुधियाना, अमृतसर जैसे जगहों से यहाँ पे आना चाहते हैं, तो उनके लिए और स्पेस देखा जा रहा है जिससे किया जाएगा।
This Chanpatia model today is manufacturing everything from e-rickshaws to dustbins, basket to saris and sweaters under the same roof. It has emerged as big talking point on how to check the migration of laborers from Bihar. With camera person Habib Ali and Manish Kumar in Chanpatia, Osama Shab for NDTV.
Let's turn our attention to news from across the border. Pakistani currency nosedived by almost 24 rupees to an all-time low of 255 against the US dollar. The latest fall comes as the government ended its control over the rupee-dollar exchange rate as part of the IMF condition. Now, the country is seeking a bailout from the IMF as it goes through a critical economic condition, and the IMF expects the rate to be determined by market forces.